parking lot. Gon' pull up. Pull up to the parking lot.
What's up, everybody? Listen, welcome back to the Parking Lot Crew. Another episode coming at you live. We're excited to be able to come wherever you are, in your house, or your office space, wherever the case may be. We're just glad to be able to connect with every one of you right now. And so I'm here, obviously, with the crew. Kris, we got Winston, got Keith, and Phil, and we're just happy to be a part. Now, listen, so many things are happening in the world today, and so many things are taking place even in our lives personally, and we want to share some stuff with you all. And so I want to ask Phil.
Yes,
Phil,
sir. Yes, sir.
I heard that you just came off yet another cruise with you and your wife. You celebrated 30 years of anniversary, right? Oh, yes, sir. 30 whole years with the same woman. Amen. So tell me tell us how was that cruise, man? I heard you had a dance off and everything.
Well,
I'm gonna show y'all that clip. Trust me.
Clip is soon to come.
It was like everything was kind of crazy because we had to park way off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So me and my wife, we looking at each other. I almost ran over two people. Honestly. Two of them.
Oh, not you run over people, Phil?
Y'all gonna learn that Phil's stories are choppy.
You gotta read
about a
between the
cruise,
lines.
and I don't know how we get to parking. But we're gonna
stay in the parking lot. You stay in the parking lot.
All right, we're following you, man.
Okay, I was parking though. For the parking lot.
Okay.
Okay, yes. So we finally got there. Got to the room. I said, you know what, babe? I'm hungry. She's like, I'm hungry too.
Yeah.
I said, let's go eat.
This is hour one.
Right.
How many days was this cruise?
Exactly.
Day one. So we got some snacks and
Okay.
drink
The sound
water.
effects.
Yeah.
I said, babe, it's the deck party. The deck party is awesome. Everybody get out there and start dancing. Mm-hmm. So I'm just doing a little shuffle.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that,
Shuffling, Phil.
Okay, old man shuffle.
The shuffle.
Something easy.
Two-step.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next thing you know, he started picking people. One guy, he stole all my moves. I said, okay.
Oh, he saw your moves?
Oh, yeah. You know, he was doing something crazy. I don't know. Yes.
How did he steal your movie? Y'all just started dancing.
I like I said, you know, it's a contest. They picked him.
What he was
So he
doing?
got out there.
Oh, so y'all.
What's that
I
called?
got you.
Phil,
Okay.
what's that? The jambalaya?
He said jambalaya.
That's so
Man, got you. That's funny.
Do the crawfish.
Do the crawfish.
No offense. Phil is from Louisiana.
Right.
Then the other lady was dropping it like it was cold. But she said she was doing it. Then the other one did the Beyonce.
Okay.
Okay.
What you know about Beyonce?
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe Diana Ross, but not Beyonce. I don't know.
You gotta go further back.
Oh, even further?
It's an Eartha Kid.
Eartha
Josephine Baker.
Marcus, darling. I'm not wearing any panties.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey, we're not trying to take your shine. Phil. Go ahead. Tell us about
why
your...
the story is choppy, right?
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Phil.
Then next thing you know, they said, hey, I said, yeah, I'm Phil from Fountain, California. They said, let me see what you got. And I broke it down.
You showed him all right. You break it down all
Y'all
right.
gotta watch this clip out. Watch this. Y'all gotta check this clip out because this is Phil in a suit jacket
Right.
on a ship.
On the ship. What a turn.
Now, did y'all do Carnival or Royal Caribbean? Because you know everybody, y'all did Carnival because I know everybody had their thing, their preference.
Yeah.
But my boy Phil was on a cruise ship. Everybody else with shorts and t-shirts on. My man Phil was in a suit jacket, a blazer with some. Somebody said
His Bugle Boy jeans.
Bugle Boy jeans.
Bugle Boy jeans.
And some whatever shoes he had on. I don't know what he had. I don't know the Air Ewings from 1987. But anyway,
He had the penny loafers.
yeah, when he was out there getting it, I mean, you got to see this. I thought a disc was gonna slip,
Yes.
but no, he had a great time.
He did that move to the back and stop.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Yes, but honestly, 30 years,
Yeah,
it
man.
was a great cruise.
Man,
That's a
One of the best
blessing.
of them.
That is a blessing. That's definitely a blessing.
Man, we applaud you, Phil. That's
goals. 30 years.
30 years.
My God.
The same woman. So, Keith, Key, man, what's going on, bro? What's happening?
Man, I'm great, man. We dropped our first episode here of the Parking Lot Crew, so I'm proud. I'm happy for us.
Right.
It's been something we've talked about so long. So I am happy. I do want to apologize for the first episode for a couple of things.
Got a little loose.
Yeah, I get a little too raw sometimes. So I did went back and reviewed it and made sure that when I talked about my TLO people incompetence and things. Hey, TLO brothers, for everybody that served on my team, I love all y'all.
It's something new.
And I apologize for you.
Look at that sincerity.
Look at that incompetent. My wife got y'all back, so she made sure I didn't put the balance on that. So I just let that go, and then we ran off with it. So it was amazing. Another thing, and I'm not going to talk long, but another thing that we didn't as a group, we didn't acknowledge Pastor Brandon Perkins.
Yes.
For this amazing, he's the one. You can explain it.
Oh yeah,
go ahead.
Oh no, our boy BP Brandon Perk, who just relocated out of state, but he is the one that helped curate right on the fly our opening theme song.
Yeah.
And the closeout to the theme song and the soundtrack. So we got to shout out Brandon Perkins. We called him Jukebox because he used to be the worship leader at the church. And in one worship set, although we rehearsed 3 songs, he came up with 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they all sound good.
But they all sounded good though, and it was like perfect timing, the tempo. It was great. So like you said, Keith,
that person and one more who was a captain on our team, the Levitical Order, original captain.
Yeah.
One of our first captains was Tony PawPaw.
Tony Powell. Big Tony Powell.
Big
Tony PawPaw.
Yeah.
Man. The gentle giant himself.
That dude was amazing. It's amazing.
You know that's his cousin that plays for South Carolina.
Shut up.
PawPaw.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, the South Carolina women's team.
Be surprised.
Yeah,
that's
that's his cousin, man.
I can see the
I saw her
resemblance.
name. I texted him on the fly. Hey, any resemblance?
But you can see
He's
the
like, oh yeah,
resemblance.
that's my
You
uncle's
definitely
daughter.
see.
He worked this out. Yeah, but he's amazing, man. Him and his wife. Shout out to them, TT.
Yeah.
And they're amazing, beautiful kids and things
Absolutely.
and everything. So we did want to shout them out. And let me see. I think that's it for me. I got to cover my tracks, man. I get in trouble a lot. And Kris already, he called it. But
Kris knew it.
Told you.
He knew you were
I
saying
get
something
it.
crazy.
And then we didn't explain our first episode. Phil mentioned it, but there's a HOT moment. We didn't fully explain what that is, and we'll have more explanation of that later, and you'll get to understand. But HOT, Phil, I'll leave that to you, or Kris, you can explain what HOT, what you explained about Jermaine, and how did that start. So I'll leave that to you.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to that in a second. Just wanted to make sure that we brief you. Kris, Winston, y'all good? What's happening with y'all, man?
Good, man. I'm blessed. Job picking up. Me and wifey good.
Yeah.
Love God. I'm good, bro. Ain't nothing about it, bro. No. Now, they ask me next week might be different. At this moment, I'm good. I'm good. So,
God is good.
Man, a few words.
Amen.
yeah, I'm good, man. I think, just being around y'all, man, is like take the stress away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Laughing and joking, you know what I'm saying? And we all know each other personally. We know each other from our dark moments to, our good moments. So just being around y'all is like, itself is a blessing. So,
Absolutely. You would expect Kris to make it all sentimental, man, but it's
you
good.
know,
I love it,
you know
though.
what I'm saying?
I love it, though.
I had to get it out the way, though.
Right.
I had to get it out the way.
What up? I told you. You trying to be serious? He twist that thing.
I told you it don't go last long.
No.
I had to get mine out the way.
Yeah. I'm with it. I feel you, man. I think one thing about men, oftentimes we don't really lean into a community like we
True.
should,
Yeah.
at the level we should.
Yeah.
And so when you find a good brotherhood, which this is what we have and have had, and some of the people we've talked to say the same thing. That when you find a good brotherhood, man, it's everything.
Right.
Winston,
Hey.
the man of many hats. What's up, man? What's the latest and greatest? How business? What's happening?
Yeah, this has been an interesting couple of weeks for me. I've been getting stolen from a lot. I'm a contractor, and in the last 3 weeks, somebody's probably broken in my truck and stole things probably about 5 times.
Wow.
And
Same place?
different places every time. Well, same common denominator, Home Depot. And it seemed like it was the same thing was happening every time. Every time I had to go in really quick and grab something and then try to get back to work, I would come back and something would be missing. It's partly my negligence, and me rushing, not just putting all my stuff in my truck, but me being not feeling somebody is gonna, take from me.
That's an episode in itself.
Next thing you know, I come
what
out.
we can do? You pull up there. Me and P be in another car, just waiting. So you go in there and get what you go get.
We're not doing that.
No, I'm just saying we can find out who's doing it. That's all I'm saying. We can find out who's doing it. Okay.
He's not the one. He's not the one that you want to show who's doing
Yeah,
it.
right. No, me and P just talked to him like, man, just don't put that back.
So by the third time it happened, I was so fed up. I promise you, I wasn't in Home Depot for 3 minutes. I literally went in to get some Velcro and came back out, and one of the larger boxes of my tools was missing. And I blew a fuse, and everybody that was sort of standing around, they have the day laborers and stuff that sort of stand around. Yeah. Everybody that was standing around, I started going through people's cars. I started pulling people out the way and looking in their cars. And I dared anybody. I told
to
say something.
Yeah, we ain't not the one.
Yeah.
We can cancel that one.
This one right here,
Hey,
Yeah.
I've seen it one time. And after that, I said, listen,
I ain't gonna mess with that guy.
that's my guy. I got his back.
Right.
But it don't take much either.
I've never been a thief, and I've never really been, I've never really condoned it. I got partners that do little dirt here and there and whatever, but that's never been my thing. So whenever I, hear about somebody stealing or taking somebody's stuff, I'm turned off by it, already. So for it to happen to me, I just go to another level real quick. And by about the third time, I was fed up, and I was wishing that I would have found who took my stuff.
I'm serious.
But by about the 5th time, I was just like, this is my fault. I need to just be more careful and take care of my tools a little more.
The lesson.
But
But don't you feel violated?
You feel violated. That's the thing.
violated.
It's
It's
a
like
respect
you
thing.
work hard for your stuff.
Yeah.
You work hard to acquire what you acquire.
Right.
Especially as a businessman, and this is how you make your money to feed your family. And then somebody in their own stupidity decides to reach into your space and take something that you own, that you earned, and that you've acquired for the betterment of your family. They won't go. It bothers me. to hear that. Just thinking about like rehearsing an episode like that, and for that to happen to you multiple times. Now, what I like about it though, I like the fact that unlike other people, you took responsibility on the part where you could control.
Right.
And everybody don't talk like that,
Right.
man.
Right.
So you got, all the love for me, bro.
mind you, it took a lot for me to get to that point by the 4th, 5th time.
I'm sure.
But I knew that I had to relax and not do anything, because I probably would have went to jail, because I felt like snatching people all over Home Depot parking lot. But I knew that wouldn't have gotten me nowhere, and it's more of a loss for me to go to jail or get into any kind of trouble than actually, just replace it. The thing that I hate the worst is that I couldn't figure out what all was missing. So, then I'm looking for tools, and when I'm in my work mode, I'm going for tools, and next thing you know, I'm searching. I'm like, shoot.
Yeah.
I bet you that was in that box that just got stolen.
Probably was.
So it messes up budgets. It messes up a lot, but.
Well, Winston, I have some tools in my garage. You can come get them. Those days over for me.
I'm coming to get it too.
Hey,
I'm coming to get it.
I don't know whether to take it serious or
Hey,
laugh.
right.
I'm sure you got a big rock chisel and everything.
All his might be
Hold
rusty.
on.
Yeah, his might be rusty. You probably see some tools you ain't never seen since
You probably got him on layaway from Moses after he did the 10 commandments. Let me borrow that.
Yeah, you about to get tools he stole from Moses.
I got
Now you better get your tech.
I got to answer that at the pearly gates now.
Right.
Oh,
All right, I mean,
honestly, you can have some of my tools, man. I don't know.
Thank goodness for insurance.
There you
Exactly.
go.
I'll tell
Never
you
mind.
that. That's one thing. As a business owner,
You gotta have
that's one of the toughest parts about being a business owner, to me at least, is the overhead. And it's constant overhead.
Yeah.
So even when you think you've made profit and you think things are going right, you still got to pay people. Something got to be paid. And in this case, it's not just that overhead. Now it's, okay, now I got to take an extra $50 and go buy a new crescent wrench.
Wow.
You know, or a new pipe wrench or something like that.
That
So
add up, too.
It adds up.
Yeah, man.
So
yeah, mine. It just happened to me last year, and I was literally not even 30 yards away from the car. The alarm went off, and I just thought I pressed a button from my pocket, and I turned it off from where I was, and I could see the car one angle, so I knew they were on the other side and broke in after the fact.
Yeah.
That I went into the car going to get my bag. So it was a lesson. It was a lesson to my sons, which I tried to tell them all the time, because this generation they feel, well, it's our fault though. They feel entitled, and they can put anything, their phones, money, bags. They just put it anywhere and think and expect it to be there
right
when
there.
they get back to it.
Facts.
And so
Facts.
they've always left stuff in the car, like their bags, just out in the open. And I'm always telling them, unfortunately, it had to happen to me to lose something for them to see, because they were with me that day. And so there was a lesson that, hey, see, this is why I tell you to either hide it, put it in a trunk, take it with you, keep it on you. And, because the boys, they play basketball with Isaac, his son, and it's like a nephew to us.
Yeah.
And they lost some Yeezys or something like that. Just took it off and put them on the side one time in a tournament and lost them. I'm like, what do you expect, dude?
Right.
It's you put it down, it's anybody's now.
Anybody's game.
And so,
Fair game.
like you said, holding yourself accountable is great. But, it was a lesson, and we're coming straight off of, Father's Day, celebrating Father's Day.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of lessons that, as a father, that I've learned.
tell me about
That
it.
transition from being a son to a father.
Right.
And,
An uncle.
I mean, my kids taught me so much, man, just by being their father, them allowing me to. And so, we can talk about it today, man. Some of the biggest lessons that we've learned as a father.
So before we go there,
Yeah.
because I know we want to talk about this, we don't lean into this.
Yeah.
But Winston, what's we got some current events. What we got going on? What's happening in the world today?
Yeah.
Tell us something that's going down that everybody can connect with, because the world is crazy,
The world is definitely
and there's something
crazy.
else out here.
The
So
world is definitely crazy.
what you got?
So we were talking about Father's Day,
For sure.
and talking about Father's Day, we were just thinking about some of the things that just as fathers, that if somebody were to ask us questions about how we view being parents, or how we would approach things as parents when asked the questions, what our responses would be. And we took some time and we thought of a couple questions. I have a couple questions I wanted to just talk to you about, and just see, and get your opinion on how you would sort of handle some of these situations, or, what advice you would have, or how you would discuss some of these things. Let me see, let's say my first question would be, if you could go back in time to when you first had your kids, what advice would you give to yourself? If you could go back in time, see, this
You asking that right now?
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's dive right in. I mean, this is as current as it's going to get as we're coming off of Father's Day.
Cool. We gonna skip the current event.
Current events, Doc. We're gonna keep it current right here. We're currently talking about the dads.
Wait.
I thought we was on the news.
It's a current event.
Right?
I thought we was on the news.
But I thought we said we was going into.
That's good.
We said Donald Trump was next
current
time.
event.
Now we talking. I thought the current event.
Being a father is a current event.
This is current event.
Hey,
Being a father is a current event like a motherfucker. That's a current event. Because these little niggas always got something going on. All right. I'll tell you about being a damn father. Here's being a father right here. You always got to have.
You said he was gonna be the first one.
You said it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Break.
you
He
said
was
it.
gonna be the first one to break.
Fathers.
Here's my credit card. Just take it, Doc.
That's it.
I owe you.
That's it. That's it.
I knew it.
Man.
Oh, that was good.
I knew he was gonna be
It
the
was
first.
either YouTube.
Kids don't have
don't
nothing
curse.
good for you unless they ask you for something.
You did.
I'm gonna mess up though. I'm gonna mess up, but I don't curse.
Hey.
I'm gonna say something out of line, but it won't be a
Please
curse
forgive
word.
my mouth. I'm a sailor, or a pirate, whichever one you want to call it. Whichever one cuts the most.
He's our Peter.
Hey.
I'll
Oh
take
yeah,
it.
oh yeah,
I'll take it.
oh yeah. He
Every
gonna,
now and then you
sometimes
get
you
a
get
little
one.
loose lips.
he gonna slice an ear or
You couldn't
two.
wait to get on that topic, boy. You see how
I mean, he said
Well,
it
here's
with
the
his
thing.
chest.
we gonna let you go
Here's the
first.
thing. Most people, they have, you got your, your siblings. If you're like the oldest, or like every once in a while you had like a cousin or something you babysat when you were younger.
Yeah.
But like in my case, I've been babysitting kids and watching kids since I was probably 10 years old. From my nieces and nephews, because my sisters they're older than me. I'm the youngest, but yet when they had their kids, they were at the age still where it was party time. They were in their early and mid 20s, so it was nothing for them to drop the kids off,
Right.
at mom's house and go out for the night and then come and crash on the sofa in the morning.
Right.
So,
Facts.
but the difference was like my mom worked nights, so when they're dropping the kids off, then we're getting the kids settled. Next thing you know, my mom said, "Okay, I got to go to work." And so now me at 10 years old, now I got my niece and my nephew here, and it's like 7:30 at night.
You're a latchkey kid.
Latchkey kid.
Yeah,
What do you do at
no cell
you're
phones.
10?
Right.
You got these 3 and 4 year olds here, and it's 7:00. You can't put them in bed at no 7:00. So I've literally been raising kids since I was 10. And I went from raising kids and babysitting kids to having my own to now I'm down to my last one.
Okay.
And it seems like they all coming back.
Oh,
Yes, they do that. Yes, they do that. They come
know,
back.
yeah.
They come back.
Phil, no.
Phil knows very well.
Phil know about the comeback.
So
Comeback kid.
I love my kids. I love everything about them. Sometimes I just wish they would leave, though. Sometimes I just, sometimes it's time for them to go.
How was it when the first one left though?
Oh,
How did you feel as a parent, like as the father though? Because when I left, I'm the oldest as well of all of my siblings, so I have the same testimony as you have as far as being dropped off, having to babysit, and it made me who I am today. I'm a natural protector,
Right?
And and so how was it when I left the house? My mom, I found out through my father, my step-pops.
Mm-hmm.
He told me later that she cried, but my mom never showed emotions growing up. So it's kind of why I don't show emotions. I didn't hear my mom say "I love you" till I was an adult.
Yes.
I don't remember until I was an adult. But I knew she did. But I was just saying, she was like, "I'm gonna build you tough and strong and to endure certain stuff. So you'll never catch me in a. I don't want to, anybody else, but you wouldn't. I don't think you would catch me in a highly depressed moment to where I want to take my life type.
Right.
For anybody that is like that, I'm not calling them weak or anything. I'm not saying anything negative towards them. All I'm saying is for me and how I grew up, beaten and battered and going through it, it was a grooming and training. So I say all of that just to ask you a question, like how was it when the first one left? How did you respond?
I was at that time. I still had more kids in the house, so it wasn't really as much of a rush to get them out. I found myself. I don't want to say second guessing my parenting, but I found myself really over preparing them or feeling like I had to continue to prepare them past what I prepared them for to get them prepared to go out the house. I know I said prepared 20 times.
No, that makes sense though.
But I mean, with the calls, even though I know I taught my daughter how to, balance checkbooks and how to, keep clean up behind herself and keep up with her things and everything, I still found myself calling her at nights and running down the checklist of everything. Did you lock your car? Yeah. Did you go to the grocery store? Did you get napkins? Did you, what you gonna eat off of? Just things that I know that kids are sort of oblivious to when they're with you. Yeah. And even though you tell them, that's nothing that they think about until they're faced with that.
Right. Were you able to sleep?
Oh gosh, no. I didn't start sleeping until my third kid left.
Wow.
Because then by that time I was ready to let them all go. Yeah. So the sleep was good because I felt like the house was more peaceful.
The whole cycle.
Yeah.
When they first born, you can't sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
And they leave the house, you can't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And then when you get to the end, you're sleeping like a baby.
Like a baby.
Like a baby, boy.
Well, when them boys go,
I know
my twins,
I know you're gonna be ready.
Man.
Sleeping like a baby.
Telling you.
But them girls, they can stay at home the rest of their life.
Okay.
Until you tell them that. Don't tell them that because they come back too.
Wait till they start dating. Now, bro. Wait till they start dating.
Hey, my babies, y'all can stay home. You can't bring anybody home, but you can stay home.
Casey.
It's an interesting thing, man. Now, what was your question for your first question? Now we can answer it. Since we went to
set the table.
Events.
So we were talking, like I said, we were talking about just more of what.
And while you go through that, I'm sorry because I didn't ask Phil the same question. How was it with you? Because he's another one.
Yeah.
He's another one.
Yeah.
Greg is another one,
Yep.
grown one. Y'all had grown kids. Mine are not.
No, that's because your pullout game is whack.
Pullout game is whack, boy.
He don't have none.
He didn't do his math right. He's like 60.
Right. He is squirt gun.
Hey, you know how Scripture say, be fruitful and multiply?
So y'all go ahead and answer because we're gonna get off of me. Phil?
Yeah, it was like I really felt nothing.
Oh, that's different.
Well, that's totally
You have to explain that to me.
Yeah, because I ain't following, bro.
I'm lost.
I'm totally lost.
That sounds like a sense of peace.
right.
That's what we want to sound like, man. That's not how I talk.
You try to help me.
Right. I took it
He
as a sense of
gonna
peace.
have to climb out of
If
this.
I don't fit,
He gonna have to climb out of this.
He's like, nothing, Dad?
Phil by himself right here.
No, I mean, it was like, well,
They watch it, Phil. They watch it.
Yeah.
I don't say it to the camera. Okay, I had a stepson, right? And it's kind of sad because he died.
Right.
And it was like, I came home one day. I said, hey, babe, where's Tyrone? I kicked him out. I said, oh, you did? He said, he had his grandmother's house. So I felt nothing because he was at his grandmother's house.
Okay.
Got it.
Now that makes more sense.
Okay.
You got to start off like that, though, Phil.
No.
You can't just
But
say.
you have 3 or 4.
I'll be honest with you, I'm still lost.
Yeah, you can't just say.
You have 3 or 4 of them out the house.
just
Right,
say,
yeah.
Then, Destiny,
Don't even have to say names. But
I'm saying my name.
He blasted them all.
Phil did this on the first
On the
episode.
first episode,
He started
saying names left and right.
I'm saying names.
Oh.
He's protected
I'm saying names.
because Shasta got on.
Sharice,
Them his
I'm
kids.
naming our kids.
Okay.
Here it is. Here it is. Father's Day
He
weekend.
love all y'all too.
I mean,
No, I'm a
immensely.
father. I love them all. And
Yes.
she was married. And then one day, she came back. I'll be honest. I felt something.
But it wasn't peace.
No. It was a violation.
Okay.
Okay.
She took my clothes and just threw them in the closet. I had a bedroom. One downstairs. Like when I'm mad at the wife, I go downstairs. Oh, I said that?
Out loud.
Oh, my.
Out loud.
He gives the secrets
that
and
part.
everything.
30 years married.
30 years married.
30 years, man.
No. That's in the States.
Oh man.
I don't recommend you leave or do no such thing. So I'll just tell you right now.
I guess I know we'll get in trouble this episode.
Right. It ain't gonna be me.
He'll come back and apologize
On the next episode. Yikes.
You know what? I'm going to end this story.
Yeah. That would be best.
Jesus.
That would be
So, ladies and
best.
gentlemen, what you're seeing is real and raw and like uncut. Just what it is.
And one of the producers, don't repeat this story.
PawPaw is different.
PawPaw, way different.
Uncle Phil.
That's the difference in how. That's the difference in being married 30 years, and we still in our teen years of marriage. That's it right there. Oh man.
No, but honestly, I feel a little something, but I would tell you guys I had to put my wife first now. Because I know my kids gonna find love and move on, but I still have to take care of my wife.
That's right.
That's facts, though.
Yeah, that's where my peace comes from. Because I don't mind them coming back, but they gotta leave first.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Man, you talking something.
Yeah,
You
you
want
don't
something.
change the
You know
whole
story,
rhythm.
PJ?
All right, I hear you. I like it.
Now, I think that is very important, especially speaking for myself and Greg, coming from a blended family.
Yep.
I had kids coming in. My wife had kids coming in, and I think it was very, very important as a couple, as when we were young in our relationship, already having kids in the house and everything, for us to establish that we would always come to each other and discuss everything before we went off and heard the kids' side or started taking sides, because at the end of the day, once the kids hit 18, they're pretty much ready to go. And if they had it their way, they wouldn't come back. That's most kids. They want their freedom. They want to be able to go out and do their own thing, and they know that being under our roof,
Limits that.
that it limits that. So they want to go. So just having them, just being on the same page, with your spouse, it makes a big difference, because the kids will play you against each other. They'll do that, and that's natural. Whether they're all your kids or whether it is a blended family, that's just what kids do. They play mom against dad. And it's very, very important to hold up that united front, so that the kids know that they can't do one thing to dad or say one thing to dad, and then when dad doesn't agree, be able to go to mom and get a different result. Because like I said, they're gonna leave, and you still gotta look that woman in the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
You still got to be there with her all the time. So you don't want to mess that up, and then they go out and live happily ever after. And next thing you know,
You jacked up.
You jacked up,
Figure it
or
all out.
trying to figure something out later on down the line.
Yeah. Before we get to the question, I do want to add my piece in there too, because from the blended family perspective, both my wife and I, we were raised in blended families at young ages. My side was because divorce, my wife's side because of death of one of the parents. And so then that, I believe, prepared us for what we now do. My wife's first marriage, she was a stepmom. She was mom and stepmom all at the same time. She was thrust into this like out the gate. And then after that, it was upon us to kind of work that thing out and try to figure it out. And so then I, on the other hand, I came into a situation where my mom and dad separated, divorced, and all that good stuff. And so now that we're together as a husband and wife, here's the different dynamic, though. You talk about husband bringing kids in, wife bringing kids in. For me, I brought no kids in. All three of our amazing kids, I have the opportunity to help co-parent, all come from her previous relationship. Our oldest is from a relationship that she had going into college at 20. And then the two younger ones, they came from her previous marriage. So that's another dynamic. You got two babies' dads, and then one guy coming in. I have no kids nowhere, and I can prove it. I have no kids nowhere in the world. I had some fun, but I didn't have no kids.
I can prove it.
Okay. So there's not a chance that there will be a knock on
There's not a chance
on the door.
I'm telling you right now, ain't gonna be no chances.
I told my wife when we first got married, she got to be ready for that, because there may be a knock on the door.
Hey, I told my wife, if it is a knock, at least they're grown. It wasn't while we were together. You know what I mean?
It was a long time ago. Period.
I don't know the laws, child support, and things like that. But
Statute of
they're adults.
limitations?
They're adults.
Right. They're grown.
And so, if it's a knock, I didn't rule it out. But,
They're grown.
hey,
I ain't got, they
I'm
grown.
faithful.
It's
I'm
before you-
faithfully married.
That's right. But I think exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so go
that's a
ahead.
dynamic that I'm coming in. I've never been a father
Right.
before, and so I'm taking on now. All our kids were young when I came up on the scene back in 2007, 2008, and so I think my upbringing helped me to be a decent father and to learn on the job, and to also have to deal with babies' dads and their thought process and the way they function, their socialization and how they think. And both my wife, I don't know how she managed to do it. Both of them have the same exact last name. They have the same initials, and they're type A men. They're like alpha dogs. They're alpha males. And I'm not an alpha male. I'm like just chill, laid
Chris
back.
lost. You got to go back for Chris.
What?
He lost.
Hey, I'm like,
What
He
you lost?
lost.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Did y'all zoom in on his face?
What you lost about?
He said
They all-
they got the same last
Alpha-
name.
they
They
all got
same
the
last
same
name.
last
Yes.
name?
Yeah.
Davis, yes.
Yeah. No lies.
Wow.
That's a beautiful thing about blended family, our blended family structure, because I know Winston likewise understands blended family structure. But, both my wife's, our oldest son's father, and then our two younger son and daughter, their father, same last name. Came up all in the same church and everything.
Yeah.
Families used to worship together, connect together, do choir and music together in the same church. So that's all in the family.
All in the family.
And now when people come to our house, and these guys can tell you, they come to our house, at any given moment, you see possibly both baby daddies, ex-husband and baby daddy in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, I thought, speaking on the father thing, real talk, I thought I was going to be able to add a kid to the family.
Yeah.
But my wife, contracted like endometriosis, which if you know anything about endometriosis, is a very debilitating issue for women where they're, we went to 3 different doctors. We thought we were going to at least add another kid, another knucklehead McNair kid into the mix. And, my family on my side, we believe in being fruitful and multiplying. But that just wasn't my story. We asked 3 doctors, man, and all of them said, we can't do nothing. If you impregnate her because of what she's dealing with physically, she and or the fetus could die.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't need that.
And I said, I'm not going to jeopardize my wife because of something I want.
Yeah.
I'll just deal with God, and we have a conversation about what the heck. And next she had a hysterectomy, January 2015. So that kind of now you're dealing with a sense of rejection.
Yeah.
You've been praying, believing God, your faith is trying to help you navigate that space. I believe I'm going to get a kid.
Yeah.
We bought baby clothes, fam.
Wow.
Hung them up in the closet, like faith moves. We were like, I don't know why my eyes getting watery, but it was like faith moves to say this is what we're going to do. And today I'm not hurt. I can speak in the place of freedom. My wife and I, we believe in transparency. But at the end of the day, we just saw freedom through that and just kind of walked through that. And the one thing about it, Chris, is everybody didn't ask me after my wife had the hysterectomy and she was going for her doctorate over 9 years ago.
Wow.
And she was writing her dissertation after having the hysterectomy. And so that's why I give kudos to my wife. She's amazing. And so, but nobody was asking me, Greg, how do you feel?
How you feel?
Wow.
Right.
Nobody was helping me, Winston. Nobody was helping me process through that, bro.
Right.
Feel. Nobody.
Yeah.
Except my wife. She would periodically she's just watch my trends and watch my movements and watch my all the different things, how my patterns, if you will. And she just will check on me. And so that's where the healing process went. I just surmised, like, through prayer, through community, through having people like these guys in my corner just as a support. And then my kids, though they're not my biological kids, the love they have for me is very genuine. So, that's sorry.
Man, no, but you have an amazing wife.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
have 3 amazing kids.
Absolutely.
So God blessed you with something.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So,
And that was the perspective shift for me.
Right.
I had to grow to that place.
Right.
It didn't happen in Michigan.
No. I
But
know.
you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
when
But
you
that's
win
what
it, you ain't gonna think about
No,
nothing.
you're not thinking about
You ain't
none of
thinking
that.
about nothing in the
Right.
in the future. You just in that moment.
In the moment.
You know, but yeah, man, my son that's a whew, man. I'm not gonna put it out there, but my son is definitely a blessing to me. Our relationship is not where I want it.
Yeah.
Because of his mom doing. I'll just put it out there like that. But he's a blessing to me because in the beginning, I've been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he was born, I was in the room. It was the 49ers playing somebody, and lady was like,
sure they lost. I'm
We won.
sure they
We won.
lost.
lady,
Sure they lost.
We won. We won. He don't remember the other team.
yeah,
So
yeah,
of course we won.
The Niners lost.
I just know it was
He
the
don't
49ers.
remember-
I
he
just
don't
know it was the
remember the other
49ers.
Yeah, so I already know we won.
Oh yeah.
Niner bang, bang, bang.
So the nurse was like,
In case
hey,
y'all didn't know.
you gotta hold her legs, you know, because the baby coming. Nah, you better go get that doctor. Man, y'all on the insurance. Man, I ain't on the insurance. Man, that lady, as soon as I grabbed that leg, that baby came out, PG. I'm gagging. PG. Man, when I seen came out of there, man, I didn't faint, but I was gagging. Man,
Wait, go back. I'm ready.
PG. After seeing that, I didn't want none of that no more. I'm like, I'm cool. So they wiped the baby off, and just seeing a child, you know what I'm saying, that was yours is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that feeling can never be repeated.
My God.
Not that, I'm just saying the
God.
first one, it can never be repeated.
Right.
And from when I left the college when he was 2. No, maybe 4. And I think that was the hardest thing for me because I always wanted to be better than my father. Because me and my father didn't have we got a good relationship as I got in my 20s.
Yeah.
We didn't have that growing up with 2 parents in the household, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but I do want to shout out my pops, which is my Wayne Burke, which is my stepdad. He taught me a lot about church.
Okay.
Even though I was defiant. Man, we going to church. No, I ain't. I ain't going to church. It's too early. Man, I just got home.
Sunday.
It's too early. I ain't going to church. But he
Oh, you hear that?
But he stayed on me.
What were you doing?
And, you know, to this day, I say he's the one that gave me the footprints to walk towards God.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
And
love that.
like back to my son, when I went to school in Alabama to play football, that was like the hardest thing because I always wanted to be there. And I knew how it was when my dad was absent. Even though I'm doing something totally different, like getting an education and, you know, better my life for him, it was just hard, bro. It was hard. And, you know, like I said, things happened. And me and his relationship got, you know, shaky. We talk on a regular, but it's still not the same. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not going to get into his personal life because he is older. You know, and I don't want to put his stuff out there.
For sure. Yeah.
Out of respect for him.
That's real.
So, but
Yeah, I was blessed to go through every different type of birth as far as cesarean and the natural as well. Of course, the natural, the way God created it, is the absolute best way and more safe way to give birth. But the twins, of course, one of the twins was breached, I believe, last minute. So we had to do an emergency C-section. But she went full term. They were about 38 weeks. They were 7 pounds each. One of them was 7 pounds, and the other one was 6'14". But right after and during the process, you know, they put up the little and say, "Don't look over here." You know, I took a peek. They took all her intestines out and just laid it on the table, and oh my God! And then the doctor was, she got a lot of muscle, and pulled out the babies, man. And like you said, it was the most amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And thing to see, because you have an imagination, you have this picture in your head, this vision of how your kids will look, and you know, mine didn't look how I thought. So I was like, are they mine? They look just like her. They look like just like her, and I don't have any facial. I don't have hair. They came out a little hairy, and I'm looking at when I saw their toes, I said, "Oh yeah, they're mine." Them toes, boy, that inside toe is bigger than the big toe. Oh yeah, they mine. So no, it was amazing. My boys, man, and as they grew older, they look nothing like their mother now. They look just like me, and so and yeah, so I was like, man, it's funny because one of them is a clone of me, and the other one is my junior. Wow. And so they're amazing. Then that was a C-section. That was the first. And then we had to get a vaginal vaginal birth after cesarean. Wow. VBAC. So a lot of people say it's not safe. A lot of doctors say it's not safe. But I got to witness that my first daughter just come out of her mom. If I didn't see her come out though, because she looks nothing like her mother. Yeah. She looks more like my mom, and my mom is a chocolate lady, and my wife is a white chocolate lady. Right. And so all beautiful, and my daughter is beautiful. She looks just like her grandmother, but it was amazing feeling just seeing that process. But the recovery of that compared to the C-section was she jumped right up and was walking again. After the C-section, my wife went almost into a coma. Wow. Because her blood pressure shot up, and all I remember doing, you go in two people, and we're coming out the hospital 4, but now they're rushing around, and I'm trying to juggle both babies, and now they're rushing around saying, and they only let one person in there, so they're rushing around saying, oh, she's about to go into a coma, and I'm like, Lord Jesus. I can't take care of twins by myself. Yeah. Whatever you have to do.
Do what you got to do, Lord. Make it work.
And so my wife is resilient. She's strong. And that being a father, but her allowing me to be a father to the children she gave birth to, and her going through those months of all the pain, the uncomfortability, and all these things, it just made me a better man, a better husband. And when it came down to it, I told her that, I'll be the one to go through the pain of not having children anymore, which was I was led to a vasectomy. I was led to a vasectomy. I was led to it, but I had to have it. They joke around a lot, but yeah. So somebody like me had to have it. But, we can. Somebody like me.
Ain't nothing wrong with a vasectomy, bro.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, so
I'll take it.
But we can, we can talk.
Ain't no more scares.
We gonna have to, have another part of this, man. Talking about fatherhood it'll take almost days really to compact every level of fatherhood. But happy Father's Day. Yeah. We missed it out, but happy Father's Day to you all. I already told y'all before. Yep. But just telling y'all here on the camera again. I appreciate being around brothers who are great fathers.
Yeah. Let me say this though, before we get off this topic. My dad is a good dad. Yeah. Even though he wasn't there when I was growing up as much as I wanted him to. Mm-hmm. But as I got an adult, he ride with me. Yeah. And it was things that happened as a child I did not know. Yeah. And growing up, when you're young, you only see one part of it. But he always said there's always two sides to a story. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So after hearing his story, we became real close. You know what I'm saying? But I know I mentioned my stepdad and didn't mention my dad, but I do, man, I love my dad. That's my dad. That's me. Right. You know what I mean? So, Louis, I love you. Always will. So
shout out our dads. I do want to say something to that before we shout out our dads, but I do want to say that because that's a great thing that you said. If we harbor bitterness and unforgiveness towards our parents, towards our kids, it doesn't allow them the opportunity to come back and fix it. And so because you didn't harbor that anger, that bitterness, whatever it is towards your father, you allowed him to change and be the father that you wanted him to be now.
Right.
And so, a lot of people, they go around this world just upset with individuals, fathers, mothers, whoever the case may be, and they don't allow that unforgiveness, that person to change. And that's not how God created us, man.
Right.
That's not how God treat us. Rather, we have the grace to make it right, to come back, to be forgiven for sins and hiccups and mistakes. And, I dealt with perfectionism. I dealt with unforgiveness, and I found liberty through parenting my sons. Mm-hmm. One moment they're upset at you, they're crying, they're mad because you didn't give them something, but the next moment they come, Dad, give me a hug, give me a kiss.
Right.
And when the boys were young, man, they broke me. Yeah. They broke me. I don't cry much, but every time they're on the stage or they're getting awarded for something or rewarded for something, anytime they make an accomplishment, I may not show it to them, but I'm crying.
Yeah.
Right. I'm crying all the time, and that's one thing that breaks me. So, I just wanted to say that much. Shout out to our fathers as well. Shout out to our kids.
Cruz.
Anthony Keith. Senior. I'm sorry, I'm junior.
You're junior.
I'm junior. Anthony Keith, senior.
I'm a junior.
John Spears, rest in peace, man. I lost him a couple of years ago. It was the one most difficult loss I've ever experienced in my life. Then I lost an uncle right after, who was like a father to me. Yeah. And I want to really appreciate the men that made an impact in our lives. Even my other uncle who passed, Anthony Troy Crawford, Charles Smith. All these individual men in my life. Y'all can shout out yours, but I did take the time to shout mine out, man. Love y'all.
I have a little different story when it comes to like my father. I had my dad, growing up all throughout my childhood. My parents were divorced, but I was at his house on the weekends, and he taught me everything. My dad was he was retired Air Force. He was an on-flight engineer in Vietnam. I mean, he's been in planes that have crashed. I mean, my dad, he's a grease monkey. He could work on anything. He could build anything. Yeah. He taught me and my brothers a lot. My stepbrothers. He taught us a lot. He taught us everything we know. But my challenge came in because my father passed away of cancer. But he passed away when I was 21 years old. So I got a lot from him as an adolescent, as a teenager, as a child. I got a lot from him, but you don't know how much you really need your father and the advice that a father would give you, especially if you had one. And then to not have them at that age, because like I was saying before, kids act like they know everything, but then there's this time with kids when they hit their 20s where they start asking you all these questions, and the first thing you're thinking is like, we talked about that years ago. I've been telling you that. My thing was I didn't have nobody to go back and talk to. Afterwards.
Say I got it now.
So exactly. So even though there was a lot of great men in my life, shout out to all the men that were there for me, it's just not the same. Even though I would probably get the same advice that my dad would have given me, it's just not the same as not having your father there when he was there all your life to be able to turn to and talk to. I'm so blessed right now to have my my oldest son. He's actually it's crazy. He is the age right now that I was when my father passed away. Wow. So, I'm seeing now that these are the type of things, these are the type of conversations that I would have had with my dad, at those ages. The things he calls me about. And sometimes, now, when I think about it, and especially when it's happening, it's just so menial. It's so small, the little things he's asking me. What does this mean on an application? Or, You know, when I'm at the grocery store trying to figure out a meal, what do I get to go with this and that and this and that? Or, you know, how do you start the barbecue grill when the igniter doesn't work?
Yeah.
And
Small to you.
You know,
but that's major for him.
but it's major for him.
That's
And these are things that,
yeah.
yes, I had men in my life, but a lot of stuff I had to figure out on my own.
Yeah.
You know, because just as a man, then as a young man, and as a stubborn young man, wanting to do it on my own, even though I had people that I could have called on, you know, you don't want to call on them the way you would call on your pops.
Yeah, man.
So it was a little different for me because he wasn't there at a turn in my life when I know I needed him, especially seeing that I have a son that age now. How much I would have benefited from having him, like, even in my life now. You know, in my 40s. You know, my dad passed away exactly 30 days before my oldest son was born. So, I mean, he barely missed him, you know, and like, I remember my son's mom would go over and my dad would, like, you know, he'd rub her stomach and he'd talk to her stomach, you know, and he was, at this point, he was terminally ill. He had cancer. So, I mean, some days he remembered the conversation, some days he wouldn't, some days he wouldn't even want to see us. But I just, you know, I could tell that he would have been an amazing grandfather, you know, to my boys. Yeah. Just because, just the way he interacted while he was still in the womb. Yeah. You know, and you know, I miss that. I often wonder what it would be like if I had my dad to lean on in my 30s. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, in my late 20s, you know, like the first time I went to jail. Yeah. You know, I mean, like, I didn't get into those conversations, those adult conversations that, you know, young men have with their fathers once they're out of the house, once they're making decisions on their own. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Those conversations are so important. And, you know, my lesson in that is if you have a father, if you have a dad in your life, you know, especially as a young adult, don't take advantage of it. All right. Don't take advantage of it. And like you said, holding grudges and things like that, it doesn't really do anything for you. All it does is makes things harder for the generations to come and the kids beneath you, because they lose out on that relationship because of the grudges that you hold and the animosity that you hold. So if you have fathers in your life, you know what I'm saying? I mean, show them love. Show them love, you know, because, I mean, I'm a witness. I know you're a witness. You know, when they're not here, it's real. It's a lot harder.
Shout out Gregory Alfred. That's my father-in-law. He helped me a lot.
So my father-in-law, Daryl Beeman. My father, Gregory Lamar. Pastor Greg McNair Sr. My second father, Francisco Cruz. My godfather, Bishop Donald Butler from Texas. I honor them. And the Bible says, because we are men of faith, Scripture says, mark the perfect man. For in that man is peace. And the beautiful thing about perfection, as far as God's concerned, he definitely, as many of us know, he's perfect. He's perfect in everything he does, even when it seems like he's fumbled the bag. But at the end of the day, what we come to realize is when he says, mark the perfect man, is follow that man that's going to provide you with the sustenance and the substance that's going to help you go into the next level. You may not always see eye to eye. You're not going to always agree. But what we've learned as fathers, what we've seen as fathers, we can share with you from the place of process and not perfection. And so you find a man. Men are important in this society. I don't care what people are trying to say. Men hold weight in this society. They're necessary to the growth, the maturation, and the development and the continuation of the society growing. And so I shout out to all of you men, even if you're not a natural father, you're a surrogate father, your uncle, whatever the case may be, you're a big brother. We honor and salute all of you today, and we thank you for every level of sacrifice that you've given. These men here, we get to sit beside each other and talk about this all the time with our children and grandchildren, in Phil's case and Winston's case, as grandfathers. But you guys are amazing. Find that perfect man that continues to know his limitations, and also at the same time, while knowing his limitations, pressing towards something much greater for him to be much more proficient as a priest or a pastor, if you will, of their home. We honor you all. This is the Parking Lot Crew. Happy Father's Day to every one of
Father's
you.
Day.
We salute
Father's
you.
Day.
Uncle Kev,
Love y'all.
Dave and Hayes. I'm still there.
Yeah.
I'm still there.
Love y'all.